Thanks for joining us tonight on WMAR 2 News at 11. I'm Nadia Final.
Yeah, Jamie, as you can imagine, such an active scene out here. We just heard moments ago from the governor. We heard from the state's attorney. We heard from the mayor of Annapolis. We just heard 5 people killed in this active shooter situation today.
Councilman Zeke Cohen introduced a unanimously adopted resolution calling for student resources. Now, the video you're about to see is of a fight that happened yesterday here at Halliburton Middle School. Well, there are, Jamie, and Kamenetz held that post for 2 terms before his untimely death. Now they're contested primaries for both parties in the race to run the state's 3rd largest county. Police are asking for the public's help to find Kennedy High tonight. Just a couple of hours ago, they held a press conference with her mother, who's also pleading for her daughter's safe return. Dozens of protesters just left me. I'm here on Eager Street, right in front of the Women's Detention Center. They started at the People's Park on Charles Street. Clinton hit all the right buzzwords and issues that voters want to hear about, but the pressure was on, being a Democrat seeking the White House for a 3rd term when the electorate has been pining for change. Wright is being called public enemy number 1 by Baltimore police this evening. We're told he threw 2 Molotov cocktails into her home along Greenmont Avenue on Saturday morning. Tonight, a mother wants justice. Pratt Street was closed for hours. It's now since reopened. Crews are still on the scene trying to figure out what caused the explosion. We're not sure what caused it. It happened on Utah Street. It's a popular attraction here at Six Flags America in Prince George's County, but all the fun turned to terror after 24 people were stuck on the tracks for hours. Judge Gorsuch, a conservative and an appointee of President George W. Bush to the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Denver, is expected, if confirmed, to be a force on the bench for years to come. No doubt this Howard County community is breathing a sigh of relief tonight after hearing the news of Watson's capture. Incidentally, he was caught not too far from where I'm standing in a wooded area around 9:40 tonight. Now, police are asking people to stay out of this area, folks. It is just too unsafe, and crews need some room to move and maneuver. Tomorrow, the president is expected to take more action on immigration, this time with a focus on the vetting process and refugee programs. Well, Kelly and Jamie, Imamu Baraka told ABC 2 News that he spoke to the patient's mother, who said her daughter suffers from mental illness and had been missing for weeks. We're now told she's receiving the care that she needs. The hospital has apologized for the incident, and Baraka hopes this video will raise awareness. Left at this bus stop outside of the University of Maryland Midtown campus in nothing but a hospital gown and socks. That's how Imamu Baraka found this woman Tuesday night.
They discarded this human being like she was trash, and with no regard to what was going to happen next.
Thursday, UMMC CEO Dr. Mohan Santha addressed the viral video many are calling disturbing and embarrassing.
We provided appropriate medical care to a patient who came to us in need. But where we absolutely failed, and where we own that failure, is in the demonstration of basic humanity and compassion as a patient was being discharged.
Baraka is a therapist who recognized immediately something was wrong with the patient.
Are you okay, ma'am? Do you need me to call the police? Why don't you go and sit down, ma'am? You don't look well.
He says the patient's mother told him she was mentally ill and had been missing.
This is disgusting, that they would just leave her unattended on a bus stop, half naked. This young lady's pain has become a wake-up call, a message to all of us.
Now, Jamie and Kelly, Dr. Santha told me earlier today that the hospital does indeed have policies in place to deal with the discharge of mentally ill patients. At this time, the hospital is conducting a thorough investigation into the incident. Live in Midtown, Nadia Singh, ABC 2 News. Jamie, you know this area so well. It was such an emotional night here in downtown Annapolis. Hundreds lined the streets of Main Street down here and downtown Annapolis to honor those 5 people killed in yesterday's Capitol Gazette shooting.
I just want people to know who my mother was and will always be to us.
With touching words, Winters Guymer did just that at a special service.
She was an inspiration She was a force of nature. She was my mother.
She's speaking of her mother, Wendy Winters. She was one of 5 Capital Gazette employees gunned down in cold blood Thursday.
She was an excellent reporter and an amazing woman, and she was doing what she loved.
Today, though, was about the start of the healing process, to remember those victims and the legacies they leave behind.
She was so amazing. She was so outgoing. She was so personable. She was so sociable. She was so involved with this community.
Later, in the heart of Annapolis, another event to honor the fallen. The streets of Annapolis packed, the hearts of those marching full of sorrow.
The realities of what's happening in our communities and our backyards is just so unsettling. It's devastating, and I just felt it was right to be here.
From Lawyers Mall to the city dock, the city was silent, save for the sounds of a bagpipe playing Amazing Grace.
Yesterday is not who we are. This is who we are.
Community leaders joined the hundreds who felt it was their duty to show solidarity for those killed. You know, Jamie, about 3 years ago, I dealt with something that the Capital Gazette employees are dealing with tonight. 2 of my co-workers were killed on live television, and just like our brave colleagues at the Capital Gazette, we had to put on our newscast that day, just as our brave colleagues at the Gazette put that newspaper out today, even amidst the tragedy of losing 5 of their co-workers, Jamie. To protect the identity of the other student involved, we have blurred her face. Now, the video you're about to see is of a fight that happened yesterday here at Halliburton Middle School. Some of the images may be graphic and disturbing to some, but the parents of the victim wanted their daughter's story to be told.
I was putting my stuff in my locker, and she came up to me with like 5 or 6 other girls, and they just cornered me.
That confrontation was caught on video over what Andrea Selby says is no reason to fight.
I didn't want to be friends with who this girl's best friend was. And it ended up causing a fight in the gym locker room.
Selby and her parents spoke to me about the video they posted on social media.
My daughter was so brave to stand up to her.
Stand up by not physically fighting back.
It's not worth hitting a girl over jeopardizing my whole future.
And according to Selby, this wasn't the first time. Her attacker was once a friend. She says fighting just isn't worth it.
Then you'll get in trouble, and the other person will still get in trouble. And it's not worth you getting in trouble.
Selby says she wants to be a teacher and didn't want to be involved in a fight. She wants a clean record.
She knows what she wants out of life. She knows what she has to do to get to where she wants to be, and I think she made the real good choice.
Selby's parents say Halliburton Middle School leaders are involved and investigating.
The principal called us and spoke to us. We're meeting with them tomorrow, and they're really working hard to resolve this.
The school did find out about it, and they're going to talk to us about it tomorrow, and that the other girl has been punished through the school.
We don't know the specifics of the consequences for either student, but these parents hope Selby's story will help others.
After I seen the way she handled it, I'm more proud of her than if she ever, threw a punch.
So, Mallory, you can hear behind me there are hundreds of protesters here in droves. They're all across the nation protesting those executive orders that you just mentioned. Some of the protesters I spoke to here at BWI say this is a ban on Muslims. One of those protesters is Michelle Finzel. She joins me right now. Michelle, why are you here with your daughter today?
I thought it was very important that my daughter, who has been hearing nothing but hate broadcast through all the media, know that we are a country of love and support. And I wanted her to see how many people of all races and nationalities, religion, no religion, how comfortable we are showing the world that we are united together and bringing a word of love and support for all.
I just want to show you the magnitude of this protest. It goes all the way up to the entrance of the airport throughout the international terminal. Now, Mallory, the president's orders have come under great fire, even by Republicans. Some Republican lawmakers are speaking out against it, and especially organizations like the ACLU. They're saying that these are affecting refugees, affecting travelers coming in from those 7 targeted Muslim countries, And a New York federal judge went as far as to put a block on the government from deporting people coming in with valid visas. The president says that anyone with valid green cards will be able to come into the country. His top aide saying that these executive orders are simply in place to keep the country safer. We're going to hear a lot more about this tonight at 11. For now, we're live at BWI Airport. Nadia Singh, ABC 2 News. Well, Jamie, because of all the safety risks you just mentioned and an uptick in crime in the city, first responders are asking for special safety training and gear.
This city's fine. The unrest of 2 years ago, that's over. Charm City's back. But still, we have some isolated incidents where I think our people need protection.
Incidents like this one. Security footage outside of a hospital earlier this year captured this. 2 female medics attacked by a naked man while trying to reload the ambulance.
I want them trained to defend themselves. Let's train them. Let's try to get them some protection.
Union leaders say because medics are put in harm's way while helping people, they need protection, and the city needs to help with that.
They are in negotiations, and they realize that, and we don't discuss negotiations at this particular time. Training is always needed, and perhaps we need to increase their training so they can understand what protocol is.
While those negotiations are happening, it's not clear how much, if any, city funds will go towards specialized gear and training for medics.
As far as the ballistic vest goes, let's face it, it covers their vital organs. They're rated to stop the bullets, most of the bullets on the street, and stab. We can get them for stab vests too.
According to the International Association of Firefighters, Baltimore is one of the nation's busiest EMS divisions, up 7,000 more calls this year than last, and reported medic assaults is up to 13 over the past 2 years.
These are somewhat isolated incidents, but in my opinion, what's a life worth?
Now, Hoffman goes on to say, Jamie, that the cost for that specialized equipment would cost less than $95,000. That's right, Jamie. Police Commissioner Kevin Davis says he recognizes how important it is to be open with the public about what happened to that 52-year-old detainee you just mentioned, especially on the heels of a newly signed consent decree.
We've made a significant commitment over the last couple of years to be transparent and open in all regards.
Monday, BPD's top brass addressed the media, disclosing that a woman got sick and fell unconscious in her cell after being arrested on a warrant violation, stressing this was a by-the-book arrest.
There was no force used. There is really the interaction between the officers and our detainee that we've reviewed on body-worn camera is very cordial.
The woman was taken to her home after the arrest, then brought to the Southwest District Station. Around 1:30 p.m., officers found her unconscious. She was taken for treatment and remains in critical condition.
I'm comfortable that the quality of the interactions that our police officers had with this detainee, or the nature of the interactions, did not contribute to the medical condition that she's now suffering from.
The Special Investigations Response Team is now tasked with looking into exactly what happened.
Much of this incident was captured on body-worn camera, and the transport in the prisoner transport wagon was captured by our video camera system.
Now, at this time, 1 officer has been suspended. 2 are on administrative duty right now as investigators piece together exactly what happened. Well, Jamie and Kelly, Jackson turned himself into New York City police officers, but not before allegedly stabbing and killing a 66-year-old black man on a Midtown Manhattan street. This is the quiet Hamden neighborhood he lives in, and those that I spoke to here tonight are shocked.
My husband grew up here, and my husband's family, they're all from here. My children are right down the road, so it's crazy.
This surveillance video shows James Jackson walking down a Midtown street. It's not clear if this was right after or before the stabbing of 66-year-old Timothy Kaufman, the man he allegedly killed Monday night. Investigators are looking into Jackson's background, but say he's harbored feelings of hate towards black men for over a decade.
It is believed that he was specifically intending to target male blacks for assault.
A notion disturbing to those who share this quiet Hamden neighborhood with him.
It's disgusting. You know, they need God in their life. They really do.
It's just really horrifying to hear that I was living so close to it.
It's scary, shocking, disgusting, infuriating.
"You need to arrest me," Jackson said as he turned himself into New York officials. Police found 2 knives on him, including this 26-inch mini sword, the possible murder weapon.
The reason why he picked New York is because it's the media capital of the world. And he wanted to make a statement.
A statement those back in his hometown of Baltimore aren't comfortable with.
Yeah, I think the scariest thing is my roommate is black, so we actually, a male, female, so basically right down the street from him is who he was targeting, so it's really scary to hear.
Again, this is being investigated as a hate crime. Jackson is in custody and faces murder charges. Baltimore City Police are assisting NYPD officers here in Baltimore investigating the case. We're live in Hamden. Nadia Singh, ABC 2 News.